यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
Another two beautiful verses in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So yatato hyapi, even when one is putting in this effort, what we just talked about, even when for a person who is striving, even when that person is trying, even then, by the way, this person is wise. Bhagavan refers to this person who is striving as vipaschitaha. Vipaschitaha means a wise person. So a striver is also a wise person. What happens? His senses, indriyani, his senses, they are essentially what? They are essentially pramathini. Pramathini means turbulent by nature, restless. That is the nature of senses. Sitting in meditation, what happens to us? The mind goes all over the place. Okay, it wanders. It's extremely difficult to bring back the mind. Limbs twitch, you feel all kinds of discomfort. The eyes open. After some time, you just open your eyes. Non-stop tickling. The mind is just monkey mind. So even for a person who is a wise person, because the wise only make that effort, and who's striving hard, the indriyani are by nature turbulent, and because of that, what do? Prasabham. Prasabham means by force, forcibly. Forcibly, they take away the mind. Prasabham haranti manaha. Haranti means take away. Manaha is mind. So even if the mind is quietened through effort, it takes a lot of effort to quieten the mind. Even when that happens, the senses are essentially turbulent and they take the mind away. It's like daylight robbery. The robbers are there, it's broad daylight. The security guard is there, the bankers are there, the manager is there, customers are there. They come in broad daylight, everyone is watching, they empty the coffers of the bank and they're gone. Similarly, even when this aspect of discrimination, viveka, is standing guard for this person who is making that effort, the senses come like daylight robbery and they take the mind and go away. And suddenly after some time you'll discover, where is the mind? Somewhere wandering, maybe 20 years before in your life, thinking about something, thinking about the future, thinking about a friend, thinking about an enemy, something or the other. The mind has gone somewhere else. Like daylight robbery, the senses take away the mind. Therefore, what should or what does the Sthita Pragya do? Tani sarvani samyamya. Samyamya means having restrained, having mastered the senses, having controlled the senses. Tani sarvani. Tani sarvani means all of them. Tani is them, sarvani all of them. And then the person makes the mind even more still, even more quiet, even more calm, more stiller, quieter, calmer. How does the person do that? The technique is given. Yukta asita matparaha, intently studied in me. Bhagavan is speaking here. Firmly intent on the Lord, firmly intent on the higher ideal. So in my FedEx example, firmly intent on the game of tennis, which is his higher ideal. That's Lord for him, that's God for him. So when we are firmly intent on the higher ideal, God actually assumes the form of the higher ideal. So Bhagavan says here, Yukta asita matparaha. Matparaha is me. Yukta asita, intently, fully possessed, instead of being possessed of the other desires, being possessed and steady in me. When we hold on to the higher ideal, essentially what happens, holding on to the higher, you are able to let go of the lower. It is like climbing a ladder. When your foot is firmly fixed on the higher step, you are able to let go of the lower step. If your foot is not fixed on the firm, when we learned to climb those ladders, all of us would have experienced this, that single ladder, up on a wall. For us to be able to climb, the upper foot should be firm. and then the lower foot is able to let go, and then goes to the next step, gets firm there. Once it is firm there, the lower foot is able to let go. So like climbing a ladder, when we get fixed to the higher, the lower can be let go. And then what does this person do? This person is controlling. Vashihi. Vashehi means, in Hindi it is called Vashme. Vashme means under control. In this way, when one is able to not allow the mind to control or the senses to control her, but on the contrary is controlling the senses, that time, that is Vashehi Yasendriyani. Not allowing the mind to control, but rather controlling the mind and the senses. Tasya pragya pratishtita. Her wisdom is settled. Pratishtita means settled. So there was this king who, went out for hunting with his chief minister. So both of them, on their horses, they are going for hunting. The king is extremely excited about the hunt. He is thinking about what he's going to get. So he's thinking about the trophy, he's thinking about the game. So he's going to get that game, he's going to shoot it down, he's going to carry the trophy, hang it in his wall in the palace, and so on and so forth. So there's tremendous expectation from the hunt. And the day goes on and on and on. Unfortunately, there's no game. He's not getting anything. There's nothing that they have shot. So the king is getting frustrated, and he's complaining to the minister. The minister says, let's delight in the glory of the Lord. Mat paraha. Let's delight in the glory of the Lord. In a while, the weather turns bad. Okay, it's cold, it's raining, it's, damp, and, the king is starting to shiver. The minister is shivering too. And the king very keen still on that trophy. Okay, the mind is still fixed in that, that in this case, not the South Indian filter coffee, but that game. So wants to give it some more time. Maybe I'll get it. Then let's go home before it gets too bad. Let's just try once more. And then they realize that they've lost their way. So the weather is bad. They've not got anything. And now it's cold, damp, and they've lost their way too. So now the king is getting angry. So the frustration has led to anger, and he started scolding the minister. How can you do this to me? You are the minister. You need to take care of all of this. Because of you, we are in this state now. It's all your fault. And he's angry. He's frustrated, angry. The minister still is calm, and he says, let's delight in the glory of the Lord. Suddenly, the king's horse trips. He falls down. And as he falls down, he realizes that he's hurt himself badly. He's actually broken a finger, and that finger is completely broken off. It's gone away. Badly injured. Now the king is, in addition to being cold, in addition to being damp, in addition to being very angry, is also in a lot of pain. So the anger only goes up. And the minister looks at him and says, sir, let's delight in the glory of the Lord. The king shouts at the minister, you shut up, He gets so angry that he asks him to shut up and find me some water to drink. You don't even have water now. All our water is finished. Get me some water to drink. So they look for a well and they find a well, but unfortunately the well is practically dry. Some muddy, slushy water at the bottom, deep inside. And the king is now furious. He's extremely angry. The minister still is calm, and he says, let's delight in the glory of the Lord. Now the king is just, he's wild with anger, and overcome by anger, he pushes the minister into the well. And as the minister is falling into the well, his voice is echoing, let's delight in the glory of the Lord. The king is like, what, get lost. And now he says, let me find my way back home. Let me go back to the palace. And he starts looking for his way. And at least, his minister's irritating voice is no longer with him, remembering that law. As he's going, trying to find his way, suddenly there is a band of cannibals who pounce on him. And they capture him and take him, imprison him, and take him to their camp. And they have put him on the sacrificial altar, where they are going to sacrifice him to their gods. So the mighty king now is a mere prisoner, and is set to be sacrificed. He's set to be executed. So as the sacrificial sword is going to fall on his head, one of the cannibals yells, stop. this sacrifice is damaged. He doesn't have a finger. Our gods will be very angry if we sacrifice him. Stop, let go of him. So immediately they untie him and let him go. The king is running away for his life. He's extremely thankful that at the nick of the moment, it's almost like I'm just going to die the next second, and now I'm living and I'm running away. So he's extreme thrill suddenly in all those conditions, the pain, the dampness, the cold, the shivering, the fear. In that he's experiencing extreme thrill. Why? Because his life is secure. And then he remembers, that resonates in him, what the minister said. Let's delight in the glory of the Lord. And he says, oh my God, my minister was so right. So let me go find him. So he goes back and he searches for that well. Luckily, he's able to locate it. And he's also very happy to see that the minister is out there below, groaning, but alive. And another good stroke of luck was that the rope with which the cannibals had tied him is still around him. So he uses that rope, pulls the minister out. And he says, I'm really sorry. I understood, because my finger was broken, my life got saved today. And then he asked the minister, I understand why God did this to me, because with my broken finger, I could escape. But what about you? You are this person who sings the glory of the Lord. Why is it that you had to rot in this well for the last couple of hours? Look at you, insects have bitten you. There's all kind of bruises around you. It looks like you fractured your arm, and so on and so forth. Why did you have to go through this? So the minister says, King, sir, imagine if I had been with you. Your finger was broken, but I would have been fine. By now, I would have been their sacrifice. I would have died. And that is the reason God made you push me into this well. So the king is like, happy that both of them are okay. They go about finding their way. And then the two of them, why is it that they had to go through this experience? That is because the king needs to know the value of his minister. This is his chief minister. And if you notice, during the entire journey, he was cursing his chief minister. So the king needed to find out the true value of this chief minister and also learn this invaluable lesson to delight in the glory of the Lord. That is the reason they went through this experience. So while the senses are trying to, come and steal the mind away, while the mind is running away with the senses, if we are able to harness, control the mind, control the senses, and then master the mind, and then think about, keep our mind matparaha in the Lord, then we will be able to achieve the state of Sthita Prajna.